This is the wildest story I've seen in a while. So a makeup artist who was kicked out of a wedding after she overstayed her welcome and filmed TikToks all day
Oh my God. Rachel, you just broke.
has been slammed by the internet after she went on TikTok to complain. Now the bride has spoken out, the family has spoken out, they're all very angry, things got very messy, and there's even a crazy twist. We have all the details of the drama right here on Scroll Deep, the show that keeps up with internet nonsense so you don't have to. And this story has all kinds of nonsense. We've collated all of it for you right here in one place, and you are welcome. So this all started when a makeup artist who goes by the name The Key Look LLC posted some videos to TikTok complaining about her experience at a wedding she was working at. So let's start with her side of the story, okay? This is how she told the story across many videos. So she was hired to do makeup at the wedding. She had a great time. Everyone loved her. She was cracking everybody up, all right? She doesn't want to brag. Everyone was loving her, everyone was laughing, especially the bride. She decided, hey, I've done the makeup, but I'll stick around at the wedding. Maybe film some TikToks throughout the day. Why not? We'd all do it. And everyone was super nice to her. Apparently the bride was like her best pal. The bride was like, you're the best. Unlike the groom, who was being really grumpy and mean to her for no reason. Kind of seems like an awful person, how rude. And eventually he yelled at her to stop filming TikToks at his wedding, which is so rude of him. And she left the wedding, but then she said to herself, no, I'm not gonna be kept down, all right? I've been on my feet all day, I'm tired, I'm gonna pick myself up, get back into those strangers' wedding, and keep filming my TikToks. And she did that, she kept filming, and she met the bride, and she was crying, and the bride comforted her, and the bride was like, I'm sorry my husband yelled at you and everything, and was like, I love you, you're the best. But then a mean assistant wedding planner came up to her and fully kicked her out of the wedding, and then she was in her car crying, and she filmed herself crying in her car.
In this industry, there's no space for me.
And she put that on the internet. So that's her version of the story, and I'd say that's probably foolproof, and we could probably wrap it up there. But apparently, there's another angle on this. So here's what probably actually happened, based on the accounts of other people who were there, and also from like just reading between the lines. So she was hired as a makeup artist. She finished her job as a makeup artist, right? At which point she probably should have just gone home, but she continued to hang around filming TikToks. Not TikToks for the bride, TikToks just for her. This is just like for her personal TikTok account. She was doing like TikTok trends and stuff, including apparently standing in the middle of the aisle during the ceremony to film the couple. And by the way, it was meant to be a phones-free ceremony, which is pretty typical these days. People say, you know, during the wedding ceremony, can you please not film? She was like, okay, bet. And then was just standing in the aisle filming the bride and groom. And eventually the groom yelled at her and was like, can you please stop filming TikToks? Also, why are you still here? Probably because she was not supposed to be doing that. They had a dedicated videographer. They had a dedicated social media person. And also, again, she wasn't supposed to be there. The makeup artist usually doesn't hang around all day at the wedding. And if they do, they usually don't film videos. She also apparently managed to get in the background of a lot of the official photos. Apparently they did like a reveal thing where the bridesmaids saw the bride in the dress for the first time, and in the background of all the photos of them crying is just the makeup woman on her phone. She was just everywhere. So eventually they get rid of her. That's when she goes out the first time. Then she comes back. Then the bride has to comfort her on her wedding day. Can you imagine the bride like sat there with this makeup artist having to comfort her? And that's when they fully kick her out. Apparently they even have security waiting in the wings because they're like, we're afraid this woman is gonna come back again. Then she leaves, cries in her car, puts these videos online, and it's safe to say she did not get the reaction she was expecting from the internet. Because she really thinks she was in the right. She was like, everyone loved me and loved that I was filming. That has not been the reaction from TikTok at large. And now everyone has come out of the woodwork to give their take. It seems like every guest at this wedding has been commenting on these videos. Let's run it all down. One TikTok comment said, quote, "Hi, so I was a bridesmaid in this wedding. We all loved our makeup and had so much fun getting ready. These TikToks are a huge violation of our privacy and the privacy of the bride." Because that's the thing. She also posted tons of footage of the wedding, including of the bride, long before the couple were able to post anything themselves. Usually, the reason you have a photographer and a videographer and stuff is because the couple kind of want to control the images that are coming out of the wedding. It's quite rude to post like pictures of the bride before she's published her own pictures. She was just doing TikToks of the whole ceremony with voiceover complaining about the wedding. She wasn't contracted to be a content creator. When she started taking content that was taking away from the hired photographers and videographers' content, that's when we started to have a problem with it. We just thought an adult could read the room, and that's not what happened. Now, eventually the bride, Kiana, who was on her honeymoon, but the bride actually went online and weighed in herself because this has got so ridiculous. The bride said, quote, 1, I understand you're sorry for your behavior on the day, because she did eventually come out and apologize. I forgave you on the day, which is a very telling statement. That indicates the bride was annoyed on the day. She made it out like she was best friends with the bride. The bride was clearly annoyed on the day. The bride continues, it wasn't until all of this that I had any animosity towards you. 2, saying you apologize on a public forum and then giving a monologue about your business is not an apology. She also did that during her apology. She spoke about her business for a while. 3, you've made several videos already. We know your point of view. It's enough. There was another comment that said, you're so disrespectful. I was a guest at this wedding. I can't believe you feel comfortable doing this. You literally overstayed your welcome and are bitter about it. My friend didn't want you there. But now there's a twist, because someone has come out, yet another person has come out and posted a video on TikTok, and apparently they work in weddings, and they worked a wedding the day before this wedding, and apparently this makeup artist did exactly the same thing at another wedding the day before.
The wedding I worked with her on happened the day before, which was Friday. I was not gonna say a word about this, but imagine my surprise when, before I'm even able to debrief it with my client, I see her 3-part series about her truly doing her worst the very next day.
So fair to say this has rebounded quite spectacularly on this woman. Should she be sent to jail? We say yes. Perhaps a supermax prison in Colorado. Now this is a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, she's probably made a fair amount of money from the TikTok she's posted because they've got a lot of views. On the other hand, she might be losing quite a lot of business from future weddings. So it's a bit of a, what we like to call in the business, a crab's dilemma. Thank you, Crabble Rowan, for contributing there. One of the sort of strangest details is that she sort of explained herself, when she kind of eventually apologized, she explained herself by saying that, you know, she'd just, I think, gone through a breakup and was in like an emotional state and presumably just wanted to hang out at a wedding with strangers. Look, we've all done it. When we've had a tough breakup, yeah, I'll wander into a stranger's wedding and just start eating canapes. It's a normal thing to do, but you can't do that if you've been hired as a makeup artist. There are people you can hire to ruin a wedding on purpose, like people get like drag queens. There's a guy who does the world's best David Brent impression who you can hire to just turn up to your wedding, and he's actually amazing. He's on TikTok. He's so much funnier than he should be. Like, imagine if you hired a photographer and then midway through the day, they just started doing makeup touch-ups on you. You would say, that's not your job. I'm just trying to put it in language she might understand. And this is the point where I would ask you, is this okay? I will say most people don't seem to think it's okay, but maybe you have a different perspective. Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe she was within her rights to just capture some footage. I guess if she's not getting in people's way, now she was, but in theory, if she was not getting in people's way and she was just quietly filming wedding content, maybe that's a victimless crime, I guess. It doesn't seem great. Maybe you have a defense for her. Let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, no like hate to this woman, you know, don't say mean things about her. I think she's suffered enough. I don't think she's really learned a lesson, but I think she's suffered enough. And most of all, I'd like to wish a very happy nuptials to Kiana and her husband, whose name I didn't look up. But I'm sure he's doing great. What's that popular character, Crabble Rowan? Crabble Rowan makes a great point, which is that we need to get to the question of the week. Now, this is a great section because you'll only see this if you've watched it all the way to the end, making you a special person. The other people, they'll see your answers. They won't understand it. That's because they're clueless idiots. But you did. And the secret question is this. What is the perfect seafood dish for a late summer's eve? Is it crab rangoon? Is it fish fingers? Let me know down below, 500 to 700 words, and the best answer. I'm Benedict Townsend, and this has been Scroll Deep. Make sure to like the episode if you've enjoyed it, and make sure to follow to get all the latest, whatever this is, all the latest internet nonsense. Bye.